First of all, I would like to know about Bollini Energy.
To be very frank, I've been a consultant for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
So generally what happens is, when your revenues go beyond certain limit,
Mm-hmm.
government wants you to, open up a firm, they want you to collect GST and just came up with the name Bollini Energy. I've been in the industry for since almost 9 years now. 2015, I finished my college, and
Okay.
then we came back to India.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, I've been working on lithium ion cells. Yeah, I worked in a laboratory for over 2 years, and so after that, worked for a few companies and finally became consultant. So company I registered, I think it's been 14 months. That's all.
Okay.
And
So,
so Bollini Energy is, I would say my Rahul Bollini is bigger than Bollini Energy. Bollini Energy just started recently.
okay.
And coming to my uh, team, so I sometimes I hire some interns.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like I want them. It's somebody who wants to work with me for a
Mm-hmm.
short period of time to understand the market, to understand the opportunities. So timely, I'm hiring few interns, mostly who have finished the college, and they are kind of like not sure what are the opportunities. So based on the their background. So for an example, somebody from
Mm-hmm.
chemical engineering. So she joined and she wanted to understand the material business and all that. And then there was this other guy from he was from ECE. So he wanted to figure out, is BMS really the thing for him? And then I helped him understand about that. And embedded, it's more about BMS also needs software. It's not only putting components on a PCB board. So like that, every now and then I keep it's more of like interns who come for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really like I give them a lot of work. It's mostly they're just observing things, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I keep them part of the conversation, those kind of things. About
Okay.
the company in, that's all, that's about it. That's Bollini Energy,
Okay.
the
So,
name.
the Bollini Energy is a brand name, but here interns will come and you train them, right?
That's not my business. I'm just saying about my staff. Generally I work alone.
Okay. Generally, you work alone. Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes, I work with close to about today I think around 18 companies. I work
mm-hmm.
with around 18 companies today. I think I shared you my profile also.
Yes, yes.
Recently I added two more companies. That profile, I think it's been it was last updated last month. So
Mm.
two companies, I think around 18 companies are there now, yeah, that I consult.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, as you said that you provide technical services. So, first of all, I want to know that about like how did you set up Bollini Energy and its technical services? Like how did you plan it that you
So
should?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you. Basically, I have worked, from 2015 to 2019, I used to work for a single company.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I worked for two more companies. And then I used to network a lot, meet a lot of people in exhibition forums. Sometimes I'm talking, sometimes I'm listening, making friends, and everybody that I would meet. Sometimes we brainstorm ideas. Sometimes they recommend me to to their companies, and sometimes I'm getting job offers. And then too many job offers. Then one day I decided, why don't I become a consultant and advise all of them? What is the harm in that, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how it all started, yeah.
So,
So
where were you
basically
working?
I meet companies. So previously I used to work for a startup company in Bangalore called Rasi Group.
Okay.
So they were like planning to set up cell manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we conducted some lab level trials and all that.
Okay.
And then it did not take off because the expected funding did not come for the company. And then the focus shifted, for it got a little bit diverted. And then I thought, okay, maybe I need to look for other opportunities, because I was very, very eager to work with a company who is going to set up cell manufacturing in India.
Mm-hmm.
So to be frank, till date, there is no cell manufacturing in India.
Yeah.
almost 8.5, 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
There is one in Gujarat, but that technically does not count. It's a foreign company doing it for their own cars. It does not really count. Nothing indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the indigenous idea and, put in a lot of energy, efforts and everything. So finally, in that process, I could meet a lot of battery pack companies who said, "Hey, Rahul, I'm trying to understand what is the right type of cell I need to put, you know." And then so I would try to understand the applications. And then slowly I started venturing about consulting the right type of components. Now, suppose I'll tell you initially it would be like, okay, based on a given motor, I need to select a right type of battery.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it is like sometimes I have the flexibility to change the specification of the motor to make sure the battery can be more long lasting kind of thing. Like maybe, reduce the acceleration, which is the peak current and those kind of things. So that, and then slowly I started venturing into BMS. So BMS people also want to understand, they're like, hey, Rahul, what is the right voltage to cut off? What is the right current to put inside a given cell? So I started explaining BMS companies about the right characteristics of cells. So ventured into that also. Everything is advisory, consulting kind of thing. And then from BMS also, so I'm telling you, cell is the center part, and this is like from cell to pack to BMS, and again BMS to there is data analytics companies. Even last week I was talking to somebody who said, "Hey Rahul, we want to figure out battery failures. We want to predict battery failures before they happen."
Mm-hmm.
So I was explaining them that generally, batteries degrade in a very linear pattern, and then suddenly one day they die. So, that can be actually predicted. We can understand that, but there are some algorithms you need to focus on. So that is something. And then, like I was saying, around the cell to pack, and then, there is EV motors. So the kind of, what happens is whenever you brake a scooter or a vehicle, there is, regenerative energy coming back from the, system, like from the vehicle, because it was moving and suddenly I put a brake. So the energy comes back to the battery. Yeah, all the kinetic energy. So now you want to understand more about the motor specification, that how that energy is coming back to the battery for a short period of time. So I ventured into that kind of studies also. So pretty much this kind of things. And then also behind the cell, how you make a cell, there's so many raw materials. There's cathode, anode, electrolyte separator, and then smaller components like current collector and all those things. So I'm helping those companies also to indigenize and manufacture in India to be able to create an ecosystem in our country. So my dream is to make an ecosystem so that we're self-sufficient. I understand maybe we might not go to the very, very depth level of lithium or whatever it is, but the whole point is as much as we can spread our wings and be less reliant and be self-dependent kind of thing. So that is my thing. So I try to focus and help companies in and around the cell that I was telling you. In fact, I sent you a sheet also of
Mm-hmm.
all the services that also includes academic institutions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so college lectures is like little bit like it's too technical for college students. So mostly I'm lecturing the faculties. It's called as Faculty Development Program, FDP. So that is something I do regularly for the college. And sometimes PhD students reach out to me um, to understand what's happening in the market, the new trends. Like recently, someone reached out to me and I was like, okay, hey, focus on thermal management because batteries do heat up when you're charging and discharging and you want to cool them. So there are many ways, active cooling, passive cooling, and many ways inside that, each of these things also. So I was like, hey, focus on this. This is the future. Because today, to be frank, most of the vehicles that you see on the road, they don't have very good cooling system. It could be better. Maybe they do have very, very basic. It could be much, much better. And when you have a good cooling system, the batteries can last long. And if batteries do last long, the EV industry can take off. Because I've seen places, I've seen some of the vehicles where the batteries do not really last long, and then people don't want to buy a EV again. They want to go back to buying a petrol scooter kind of thing. So this is the thing that I try to also work on how adoption can increase, those kind of things. So my whole idea is to drive up the whole battery thing, indigenization, and also the EV market, to as much as we can give it a push, kind of like adoption. Yeah. So that is my idea.
Okay, so it means what I have understand that Bollini Energy is a brand name, But you are not relating yourself with Bollini Energy. You are a consultant. You provide services to companies related to cell or battery.
So basically, be it Rahul Bollini or Bollini Energy, it's the same thing.
Okay.
I'm a technical service provider.
Okay.
I spend my time to make things better.
Okay.
That's what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
people expect that. People come to Rahul only,
Yeah.
to if they are having some troubles, or they want to develop something new, or they want to make something innovative, or they want to improve the existing thing, or
Mm-hmm.
some service related issue, or some any kind of things. So
Mm-hmm.
people come to me for that. So I
Okay.
do provide one-time services, and virtual and in-person visit, and also monthly services kind of thing, where weekly I can have calls, or visits to to check up on updates. And also there are short-term plans. People hire me for 3 to 6 months. People go all the way to 1 year and then renew on a yearly basis kind of thing. So this is generally, people come to me for this kind of engagement and this kind of services. The services I have already clearly mentioned to you.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that I do. Yeah.
So if I am a company, I am a EV company and I want some services. So how I can reach you?
Like you reached out to me, my
I
number is always there on the
Yeah,
website.
yeah, yeah.
My number is always there.
Mm,
WhatsApp is there. Call. I'm just a call away, or
mm-hmm.
email. But I'll tell you, most of them reach out to me in email because
Email.
they really want to put their thought.
Okay.
Yes, most of them reach out to my email. Yeah. And I'll tell you, because email actually allows you to paint a whole picture and present it.
Right, right.
Or else in the call, if you're on the call, then I will stop you at every point and I'm like, okay, what are you doing in this? What are you doing in that? Maybe, that is my style of working.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they do know, maybe they don't. But the whole idea is, in a month, I get more than 10 emails from different people.
Okay.
Sometimes they're college students, sometimes they're working as an intern in a company, sometimes they're a manager, sometimes they're the boss.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very common for me. Most of them I have seen, most of them, it's like maybe I would say 1:3 ratio
Mm-hmm.
emails.
Okay.
And
Emails.
in that one ratio, again, I would say 50-50 WhatsApp or calls.
Okay, okay.
So that's how people reach out to me. Yeah.
So, may I know when did you started Bollini Energy? What was the year?
I started Bolini Energy November 2022. I
Okay,
registered Bolini
okay,
November
registered.
2022.
Okay. Okay. So as you mentioned that you provide chip manufacturing facility, like if someone wants to set up a chip manufacturing facility.
Cell. Lithium
Cell.
ion cell, not
Sorry,
semiconductor
cell,
chips.
cell. Yeah, yeah.
They're different things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So someone wants
Mm.
to set up a battery manufacturing plant, so you help them. So
Cell
my
manufacturing, battery pack assembly manufacturing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Yeah.
I want to elaborately know about the services, the support you
Yes.
provide,
Yes.
like from
Okay.
starting to end, what kind of services you provide.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, like I said, I'm an advisor for many things, but yeah, let me make it a little bit clear on my core things. Let's assume you want to make a battery pack assembly. So in India, my assumption is there are more than 500 battery packers in India. Okay. So basically, they import cells. Most of the cells come from China, sometimes from Taiwan for drone applications also, sometimes from South Korea. So this is pretty much the market that's, yeah. But I would say probably more than 80% comes from China. So now the thing is, these cells are like taken all of them together and assembled in a way that you get the required output in terms of, your required voltage and all those things. So I was saying, out of the more than 10 inquiries that I get in a month, probably 4 or 5 is for the battery pack assembly, because battery pack assembly investment is not much. Revenue generation is very, very high. But your working capital expenses is also on the higher side. So yeah. And turnaround time is also low. You can make a battery pack in less than 2 days,
Okay.
including the incoming material shipment, which as you buy locally. Once you get the stock, within 2 days, you can dispatch it. So that is how fast you can do. Your turnaround time is very, very low. Second thing is, in battery business, there is no credit. It's not there. Maybe if you have established a very good relationship, very good volume, and then you might want to consider on a post-dated check, but there's no clear credit in this industry. So these are some of the lucratives why people come to this industry. Now coming to the services I provide, firstly, someone will just come say, hey, Rahul, I want to make pack for EV. I'm like, okay, that's a good start. You know which one, or else some people just come and say, hey, Rahul, I want to make battery pack. And then I'll be like, first you decide EV or energy storage. Okay. And then suppose if you say EV, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, car, bus, trucks, what is your market? So some people they say, bus and trucks. I'm like, there are only 4 to 5 bus manufacturers. All of them make their own batteries. You have no business. I'll be very open. Even if it means, not getting a business, that's fine. But, I believe in transparency because it should not be like, Rahul told, okay, there's a market and then I found out it's not there. I don't want to lie. My conscience will not allow that. Okay. So bus and truck, there's no market. Don't bother. Second thing, cars. Cars also, they make their own. In fact, I'll tell you, other than Tata and Mahindra, the other car companies, they all import the pack from China. Not sell, they import the pack. The duty on pack is very high still because the volumes are so low, they don't want to invest few crores on the equipment and wait. And again, they set up the place and manpower and pay all those bills and all. So car, there's only Tata Mahindra. Tata has a ultra large pack plant for their own cars. And Mahindra is like, experimenting with different kind of thing because it's newly entered this industry with the XUV4. So you're left with two-wheeler and three-wheeler. Now, three-wheeler again is divided into two segments. There is L3, which is the, e-rickshaw and e-loader, the ones that you see on the streets, which are very, very light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there is L5. L5 is like the big one, like a passenger auto. You see Bajaj, TVS kind of auto. That's a L5 vehicle. Its build quality will be good. It will be wider and a little bit like, more sturdy kind of stable vehicle. Yeah. And it can hold more passengers or not really passengers, but you can say the build quality will be high and the goods carrying capacity will be much higher. So those kind of vehicle. So auto, if you see auto, Bajaj, TVS, and they have that market, and they have not yet come up in that segment in a big way. And when they do, they will have their own battery. So you have a good market in L3, the small e-rickshaw. In L5, cargo, again, there is a small market that can be kind of explored, but not so big enough that you might want to, set up a pack plant dedicated only for that big volume. Now let's go to L3. L3, if you see, other than Delhi, most of them still use lead acid battery. Delhi, there was, I think, a regulation recently, it's been a few months now, that new e-rickshaws should be sold only with lithium-ion batteries. So yes, there is a scope. But if you go to other places, the nearby cities, you go to cities of UP, you go to cities of Rajasthan, more than half of them still use lead acid batteries. So again, your market is kind of narrowed down. Now let's go to two-wheeler. Two-wheeler, again, there is two categories. So I'm talking to you like you are my client, okay, so that I can make it clear. Yeah. So two-wheeler, there is two categories, high speed, low speed. High speed is a premium people, expensive, more than 1 lakh. Ola, Ather, TVS, Bajaj, and Hero MotoCorp, which is called as Vida. All of these people make their own batteries. And then let's go to the low speed. Low speed market is very unorganized, but very, very big. You'll be surprised to know the sales of low speed is much higher than high speed. Now, high speed, on a month, maybe they're selling about 50,000. I need to check. It's been a while I've checked. 40, 50,000 easily they're selling. High speed is much more than that, but unorganized. Why? Because, so let's assume in India, I think we have about 750 districts in India. Okay. Every district you'll find a low speed scooter manufacturer who is working only in that district. Now, suppose you have a factory in Delhi, it will be very difficult for you to cater to the whole 750 district geography.
Right.
Yeah, because every district, the logistics and the planning and all. That's why what happens is there are 500 plus packers in India who are focusing to this kind of market. And like I said, e-rickshaw, they're using lead acid, but old e-rickshaw buyers who have used lead acid, the lead acid battery life is not more than 12 to 15 months. Now they need to replace. And that kind of, they're like, not happy with the charging time. Then they consider lithium ion. So the replacement market is also big for the three-wheeler because the volume is big. There are more than 1.5 million three-wheelers. But you need to understand there's no single buyer who will come and go and sell everywhere. You need to tap the small, small dealers. And then, yeah, coming back to the two-wheeler low speed, the old vehicles which were sold, replacement batteries for them. They might have bought with lead acid. Now they're replacing it with lithium ion or the new low speed and all. Now, this low speed vehicles, they do not have a number plate. They're not registered. So even government doesn't know, how many were sold. Maybe when it custom clearance is there, maybe they will get a number there. But how many is sold every day, they cannot know because there's no registration, there's no RTO, road transport organization, these things and number plate is not there. Yeah. So that is one very good market. So I tell people, if you're setting up a factory in a two-tier city, you're more likely to focus on this two-wheeler, three-wheeler unorganized market, and you're more likely to succeed rather than you go to a top city and then explore only in that area because it's crowded. Too many people have already tried because everybody knows about lithium and batteries. So I give a little bit of geographical strategic things also, and sometimes I have good connections also for helping out people to understand their local area, the low speed market, and the dealer kind of network that they can tap. So that is one. Now, just because I said, do you want to focus EV or ESS, energy storage, does not mean you cannot focus on both. It's just a first priority that I'm trying to get out of people or the entrepreneur. The second is the energy storage. Now, in energy storage, so energy storage, basically every product is energy storage. The battery's job is to store energy. But we call this energy storage because this is the immovable asset kind of thing, non-mobile asset. It is just there, just lying there. Maybe you can move it, but you don't want to, it's not powering anything to move around. So here, if you see very commonly is the solar street lights. Now you might have seen all these smart cities coming up and all, everything is solar and they want to make it ultra smart. So there it's a very, very big market. And then that is the smallest battery. That's why I was speaking about that. And so they are all 12-volt system. And then there are little bit bigger systems. Bigger system would be for home energy storage. Now, India's power cuts have become almost zero these days. But whenever you have, say, 5 minutes or some load shedding and all, just for a few minutes is gone. So these days, people, if you see the number of people who have bought the home inverters, like the, to get the 100 UPS kind of thing, but yeah, it's mostly called inverters. Those kind of people who have home inverters has skyrocketed the graph. People are able to afford it, and they value the energy, like the backup that they get rather than a power cut. They are willing to pay for that kind of convenience. They have that kind of budget these days. So that market also slowly people are launching. Like Excite had launched, but it was too expensive, so did not really succeed pan India. But so many regional players, again, two-tier people are doing really good. What they're doing is they're trying to make a small battery with inverter inside, kind of concept where it's a two-in-one solution. You can just keep it on a table. It's not very heavy also. Lead acid battery you cannot keep on the table. Your table will break. Yeah, so it's very compact, those kind of thing. And if you want, you can maybe carry it with you also. Little bit heavy, but not too heavy. You can actually pick it up with two hands. So it's like portable also. If you want, you use in a car or you want to take it to your office or something like that, also possible. Now that's only possible with lithium ion battery. So that is the second smallest segment that I see. And little bit larger is for powering office spaces and all, like little bit big system. Yeah, if you see in factories, the power consumption will be even more higher. And then the final biggest energy storage that you see is for the grid. Now, if somebody has a solar power plant, they're continuously producing. Now, for the grid, sometime what happens, the demand is lower than the production. Say, I'll just give you a rough example. In the morning, let's assume you live in a place where everybody is working, like it's a big town, industrial town, where everybody is traveling. Office is at 9. Everybody is traveling from 8:30 onwards. Let's assume that 30-40 minutes, whatever it is, everybody's on the street and nobody's at home or office. What happens that time? Demand for energy is lower,
Yeah.
and generation is pretty much, so that time. So this is just a scenario I'm explaining. You can store the energy.
Right.
And then what happens is later, when there is a spike in energy, generally, if it's getting hotter in the afternoon, and then AC actually consumes more energy, noon time is very, very hot. So that time, everybody is consuming more energy. And the grid again is going to be pretty much standard. So the extra energy that you have stored, it can pump that, the excess thing. So that is the energy management. So there is a way how to do that. Because yeah, I forgot to tell you, I work on containerized battery solution designing also based on the energy levels. So I assess the energy levels on, like sometimes on a minute by minute basis, and then see, how the power is fluctuating, and based on that suggest a solution where If there is a shortage in demand, the battery can provide. And if there is excess what is that like if there is higher demand, the battery can provide. And when then the demand is not so much, like I told you a scenario, that time the battery can store. So this is the biggest energy storage that you see. Like I started from solar street light. This is the biggest. Now, biggest also means it is a very, very complex way of building it. To be frank, in India, one or two companies are only doing, again, they're bringing, some parts from China and then just trying to assemble. But if you want to build it from scratch, it is really, really complex. And there are many ways to do it. Like you can do 51.2 volts. That is the most basic. There is 76.8. There is 166.4, which is the highest you can build in a module. So that is how it is done. And then you have to arrange all of them. You have to build a rack system for that. And then multiple racks will be put in a 20 feet container. Then you need to understand the fire that, if it happens, what is the range of fire that you can expect, and accordingly size the fire protection system. And inside there'll be a Wi-Fi, a camera, and, cooling will be there inside the container. Inside the battery, you will have air cooling, liquid cooling. So all this design, selection, and everything. So right from understanding how much of the battery is required to store the energy, and how many times we want to do it, and how many years we want to expect the life. Depending on that, I will try to oversize the battery so that it can last that long. And then inside the battery, I design completely. And also after battery, there'll be a bidirectional inverter called PCS, power control system or power conditioning system. And then after that, there'll be a transformer which will step up to, a few thousands of volts, and then send it to the grid. So that is how the whole thing works. So I help in this kind of things also. And for this, China has been very helpful. I've spent a lot of time in China, and to be able to look into this design and focus, and then make myself better. Yeah. So this is something, generally I try to help in the battery pack.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's come to the lithium ion cell. Do you have any questions regarding the pack right now?
Yeah, I have question like
Okay.
you said that you share with them the pros and cons and the procedures. Like I just want to know the procedures. Like how do you tell them that first you told me that you let them understand that which market is booming right now, because as you said that bus and truck is not like a good.
Today it's not a good idea.
Yeah. So I just want to know that once someone is wants to start their cell manufacturing plant in India, so what will be the procedure and how will you suggest or help them?
Okay. So what I had spoken was for the battery pack. Now let's come to the cell. Yeah.
Hmm.
So cell is basically, again, you'll have to make the customer understand that you cannot make a single type of cell which can cater to all the applications. Now, for example, I make a large cell that will not go in the solar street light, and it will not go in a scooter as well. A large prismatic cell, which is like it's called a square cell. Yeah. So I try to explain which type of cell goes in which type of application, and which chemistry goes in that. Now, cells are classified into various things. One is the chemistry, the type of cathode that is used inside, sometimes anode also, but mostly cathode. And then second is the shape of the cell. It can be a thin pouch, or a thick prismatic, or a round cylindrical. And then capacity. So I help them understand that scooters will only use small cells. Buses will only use large cells. So all this I try to make them understand, and how the market is picking up. Obviously, in a single bus, it's a very big battery. Even the small city buses that you see, they use, 150 kWh battery. So that is, equal to how many, almost like 35 or 40 Ola scooters. Volume wise is one thing, but market wise is another thing. So I will help them understand the whole aspect, that this is the market and this can be your potential customers, including I give the name of the OEMs and the battery packer who would be their customers. And then based on that, they take a decision. And then once they are finalized, second is I look for a company who can make the exact type of cell. So, the whole market today is in China. So I have a very big network of, companies in China. So I look for a gigafactory with few years of experience. Gigafactory is like a large factory who is making the exact same type of cell. And then initiate a discussion with them. and initiate with the client. And then, they discuss about the scope and everything, what is the expectation and the technology transfer fee and all that. And once things go well and they sign an agreement, the next step would be to execute the project itself. Now, there are realistic timelines. So setting up a plant takes 12 to 15 months.
Okay.
And yeah, and then you'll have to, begin the construction work. Construction, again, you need special type of construction because these are all sensitive materials, sensitive to air, moisture, and sometimes they can catch fire also. There are volatile materials such as raw material, such as alkalite and all that. So there are special zones of storage, special operating and storage conditions for all this. And yeah, so you need to build that. So for that, you need to work on the layout. So this also needs help with the technology company. They will suggest you a layout based on their past experience of setting up their own gigafactories and all. So once the layout, everything is done, infra is done, the machine will be shipped out from mostly people buy from China for price reasons. In fact, many European companies are also getting it done here in China. Yeah. So it depends, what kind of error rate you allow in the equipment. So how do you decide a good and bad equipment? It is the accuracy and how much error rate and how many times the error happens. One
Okay.
is the percentage of error, and one more is the how many times it happens on a regular basis, the frequency. So these are all certain things you will have to double check before it is shipped from China. And then once you have it, once it reaches and all, then you will do a little bit of a trial run where you're fine tuning the process and everything. Also, after that, it would be, uh, uh, the manpower. I would not say after that. Parallelly, you'll be training the manpower, which might involve sending them for exercises in the gigafactory. Yeah, I've done a lot of exercise in the gigafactory, so I know before sending them to the factory itself, I can actually, look into the recruitment part and see who is suitable for which role. Because inside cell manufacturing, there are many processes. So many processes need different type of experts. Some places we need electrical expert. Now you're activating the cell and then grading the cell. That person will be from electrical background. Now there is a, after the coating, there is a calendaring area. So there you will have a mechanical person checking the thickness and all that. Yeah. So there are many aspects and many, job roles inside. And there are some people monitoring the software, and then, it's pretty much, you can say, all kinds of people are working, engineers are working inside the plant. So that is something, and then, you start working on that. So I'm actually doing this project, so I know exactly this is how it is done. And secondly, see, just because you set up a self manufacturing plant, everything is set, does not mean you're done. There's many more, because timely the cells are changing, the shape is changing, capacity is changing, chemistry is changing. One of them is changing for sure. So the change you can generally see between 1 to 1.5 year, you will see a change in the market. You need to be able to adapt to it. So I help these companies understand that what is the next change coming. Because sometimes I'll give you a simple example. There are companies who will think, I want to do a type of cell, and by the time they set up the factory, the trend has changed. I told you, right? It takes 18 months, 15 months to set up, and in 18 months, the trends can also change. So from the existing cell that they plan to set up and the trend has changed, how do they adopt? Now that is the next challenge. Because when you do a technology transfer, it's for a particular type of cell. Now, how do you adopt or change? So there are some fine tuning that needs to be done, discussion with cell manufacturers and all, your cell manufacturing technology company and all that. So there are certain challenges, and I know how to deal with that because I've seen it live myself in China, how they're able to adopt and what are the machinery change we need to do. Again, to order machinery, it takes some time. And then installation, because this is all in a sealed room. Again, installing that machine can be challenging. So we'll have to figure out those ways and all. But yeah, these are all certain things that I generally I'm able to help.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so as you mentioned, like you have described all things, and I'm very clear about the cell manufacturing plants. But I want to know one thing that, like you are saying that manpower will be required if you are making a cell manufacturing plant. So, do you provide manpower
definitely.
and training also?
No, no.
No.
See, the manpower training is for operating machines.
Mm-hmm.
So machine operating, there are, different equipment suppliers have different, way of operating.
Hmm.
So their HMI, which is a human machine interface, the HMI user interface
Hmm.
will be different. That
Okay.
is something not under my purview, to be very frank.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and
But I help in the recruiting. I
okay.
know who is capable of what just by, interviewing them. That's very easy for me.
Acha, you help in recruiting. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So, you said that people import components from China. So, do you help them to provide companies like this is the particular company, which one is good, which one is bad, or?
I give recommendations. So see, there's no such thing as good and bad.
Hmm.
So sometimes what happens, a very good company can give you bad things.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is very, very common.
Hmm. Right.
Maybe for price reason, or they ignored it, or it was stored in the customs for too long.
Hmm.
In China customs or Indian customs, it was stored too long, or it came to the pack factory and in the go down, it was stored too long. Somebody's problem,
Hmm.
but it ended up bad. So I do analysis and give a report of that also, why it could have gone wrong,
Hmm.
who's to blame, and how to avoid that. So
Hmm.
I do those kind of things. And before the cells are dispatched from China from the factory also, I do that inspection, a
Okay.
technical inspection. That is also something I do.
So
And
you do.
generally, like you asked, do I provide the names? I provide recommendations.
Okay.
I don't push them to buy from a particular company,
Hmm.
because being a technical consultant, I have to be neutral to everything and keep my eyes open, ears open for new trends coming up and recommend. So some of the time what happens is new things have come up in the market. I'm able to share that with my clients before, anybody else, or they before they say. That is one more thing. Yeah.
So you are saying that once the component has come to company, you check the product, right? You check that you
Yeah,
do.
I help them to check also. Yeah. I
Okay.
provide that kind of support also. Yeah.
Okay. So I have one more question. Someone wants to take technical services from you. So is there any contract or something which they have to follow, or how they do?
So I said basically I'm flexible.
Mhm.
It's about the work that excites me, not the money. So I'm open to short term, long term. There are companies signing annual agreement also on a monthly retainer basis kind of thing, where they pay me monthly. And there are people who have hourly calls, So I'm very popular with the Mumbai based financial companies who want to talk about upcoming technology trends, upcoming new startups who might go public, existing public companies, how are they doing, how well they could do, those kind of things. I'm having calls with big companies, mutual fund companies is also one more thing. They want my recommendation. At the technical level, if I see something good, they want my recommendation. Sometimes they want to talk about a particular company, so those kind of things are very, very common. Yeah. And so that is my hourly thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, I know the client, so I take the payment later. Sometimes new client, I try to take the payment in advance, before the work. Yeah.
Okay.
Easy that way. Yeah. So that is the thing, but very flexible.
Okay.
Not really that you need to sign a contract for long term kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, great.
Mm.
You are providing technical services to a company, and which is a big thing because for running a cell manufacturing plant, you are providing a main service, technical services. So, is there any terms and conditions also which you apply, or it's only verbal?
Very flexible.
Okay, very flexible. Okay, so
Because nothing is expected. Challenges are very, very unexpected. They require a different kind of solution. So there is no way to define that.
okay.
Sometimes I ask the clients to put an extra of expectation that they want in the contract
Mm-hmm.
if we are signing one. And sometimes it's like a basic consultancy. Okay, Rahul, you are my, consultant, full-time advisor. Anything I want, I'll just get in touch with you. Those kind of things.
Okay, so in that sheet which you provided me, you mentioned that you provide sales also. So from where you do that?
No, I don't provide the cells.
Okay, you don't
I
provide.
give some recommendation based on, what they're looking for. I'm not selling any product. I'm very clear about that.
Okay, you
I've never
recommend.
sold a product, never will sold the product. Yeah. Because that's again a conflict of, what I do. I
Right,
cannot sell a product and then at the same time recommend something. Yeah, it becomes a conflict. Yeah.
right,
I
right.
only recommend.
Okay. So,
And on the recommendation based on the merits, based on reports,
yes, yes.
not just like talking in the air, like, yeah, this is good, go with it. Why
Mhm.
it is good? I give an explanation. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, how do you choose the location and how you recommend them the location? Which location is good and which is bad?
See, most of the time I'll tell you clients have a location in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
To be very frank, they
Okay.
have a location in the mind. These are, clients with deep pockets who
Mm-hmm.
have a land bank or they have connections with the local authorities, and they have a mind, they have set in their mind that this is where I want to set up a factory. This is ideal location. So most of them come with that already filled. Yeah. Geography, I don't really help because, I just tell, if you're exploring, you want to compare,
Mm-hmm.
maybe go with any state who is giving you better subsidies. Subsidies are helpful
Right, right.
because when you're trying to compete with the Chinese, you
Mm-hmm.
need that extra bit of support, whatever you can. So I tell, if you're really neutral about all states, just go with the state which is giving you, a good
Subsidy
subsidy, which
teams.
has a port nearby.
Mm-hmm.
See, you make packs, cells will come from China. You make cells, raw material come from China. You make raw materials, the components for the raw materials will come from China.
Mm-hmm.
So this or from some other country, but you need port access. You need good infrastructure so
Mm-hmm.
that easily in and out a 40 feet container can go and come. Those kind of things.
Right. So, like, according to you, how much it costs to develop a cell manufacturing plant? Any
It
idea?
depends on the size.
Hmm.
It depends on the size. Yeah, so ideally, I'll tell you, uh, a decent size would be half a giga,
Mm-hmm.
and your investment will be slightly above $50 million,
Okay.
slightly above that. So in Indian rupees, I would say around 450 crores is the right money you're looking at for half a giga,
Okay.
which includes the equipment and the infra and everything. Now again, it would be slightly higher, uh, you know, for sorry, it would be slightly lower if you're trying to make NMC. NMC, the capacity would be higher. Now this is for the LFP.
So, what is
Again,
NMC?
it would be slightly lower if you.
Sorry
There
to
are two
interrupt.
types of chemistries. There are
Okay.
two types of chemistry, LFP and NMC.
Okay.
From a given machine, NMC output will be higher
Okay.
because it uses less cells per kilowatt hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this half a giga I was telling you around 450 crores or $50 million, which is almost 420 crores.
Mm-hmm.
This is for LFP. The same for NMC would be almost, you can say, 800 megawatt hour or zero point 0.8 gigawatt hour for the same price. That is one. And the second would be, this is highly automated. You reduce automation, maybe it will come down to 350 crores, 300 crores. Depends on the automation.
Mm-hmm.
So there are various things, how you feed something in the equipment can be manual or automated. So that is very, very, customizable. So in a nutshell, I would say half a giga can cost you 300 to 450 crores, depending on your automation.
Okay.
And 1 giga, maybe you can multiply that with 1.8, 1.7 for 1 giga. So when we say gigafactories and all, so that is what around 500 to, how much would that be? Almost 800 crores,
Okay.
depending on the automation
Mm-hmm.
for 1 giga.
Okay. So,
And
as
that is just the factory setup. You need more money for raw materials.
Mhm.
You'll have to store, 60 to 90 days of raw materials. Again, that is additional costs. Yeah.
Sorry, 60 to 90 days for raw materials.
Raw material cost,
Okay,
you
raw
buy
material.
everything with no credit. There's no credit. It's cash and carry.
Okay,
Yeah. So you need that extra money to run that, to
right.
buy that. That is additional. Yeah. So overall, 1,000 crores easily. It crosses 1,000 crores per giga with the raw materials in hand, stored
Hmm.
in the factory for production. So that is in a nutshell. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm asking about the right market, how do you choose right market for battery? Like which will be the right
There's no right and wrong market. This is something called comfortable or no.
market?
Depends on where you come from, what you have done in the past, what you want to do, how you want to do. It
Hmm.
completely depends on that. Suppose if Tata is coming, now Tata will not focus on two-wheeler. I cannot tell them two-wheeler is right for them because their business is different.
Hmm.
Now, generally, I tell don't make packs for the trucks, but Tata can do that because they can have their own truck. We should follow the facts. What are the facts like? So we should follow the facts. What are the facts like? What do I have? What am I close to? What am I confident about? Based on that, I think we should get into the market and do such things.
All right.
Yeah.
And if I ask about the challenges which engineers face during this battery cell manufacturing, so can you talk about that?
Exposure. They have never seen real machines.
Okay.
Without seeing machines, you cannot know how to do it. You should see real machine, work on real machine, visit these gigafactories in China and learn.
Okay.
No institute can teach you that. That's a fact.
Right.
You need rigorous training. Yeah.
Okay.
In the
So,
beginning, you remember I
mhm,
told you there is a foreign company making cells in India.
yeah.
They took all of those people
Hmm.
to Japan and trained them. That is how it is. Yeah.
Right. So, if I will ask about the PLI schemes of government, so what would you say about that? That it is a good policy which will be the boost for the EV industry or what? Cell
So
manufacturing.
basically, only three companies have got the PLI,
Mm-hmm.
and if you see, all of them are kind of using it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it is a benefit for everybody in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So Ola got it. Ola scooter can become cheaper. So maybe it is for the consumer who's buying Ola. For him, it's a benefit. Reliance got it. Maybe Reliance is launching that, small batteries that they had released a video during
Mm-hmm.
that annual general meeting, which somebody can take it home and use for home UPS also, those kind of thing. Home inverters, dual kind of thing, put in the scooter and that. Again, it's for their customers only.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a Rajesh Exports, which is not talked about. We don't know much about what's happening. But none of these people are going to feed the 500 plus battery packers that are in India. There are 500 plus battery packers in India who import from China. They will continue to buy from China
Right.
because PLI scheme was given to people who are not feeding this kind of packers, who are using it for themselves. So I
Right.
think it might bring down the price of, Reliance and Ola products, but that's about it. Yeah.
All
So
right.
if that products are selling in big volumes, yes, it's a benefit to the customers. But
Mm-hmm.
we cannot say that it's a, win for the EV industry. Everybody's price will come down. No, not possible.
It is beneficial
That is
for those
the
people only who are
Ola customers.
yeah. Right. So, I want to know that you have your technical services and you provide everything. So, you are doing it single-handedly or you have a team also?
I build team in a company. So whenever there's a new project or something in a new company,
Mm-hmm.
first I try to cope up with the team and try to build a team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm part of the team.
Okay.
That's how it is. I don't take my team and then try to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I try to work with their existing team. So
Okay.
what I do is like a consultancy advisory where I advise them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is right. Yes, this is not really right.
Okay.
Maybe we should think about different things, different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. Yeah.
All right. And do you take, as you mentioned that you go to academics and institute also for lectures and giving some
Not for students, for faculties. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
faculties. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So
Sometimes.
do you,
But
are you?
mostly I keep it online because
Mhm.
traveling really consumes a lot of time. Yeah. So I try to keep it online as much as possible.
Okay.
The academics part. Yeah.
So are you planning to provide any internship classes or something like that, or you are only planning to do technical?
Not internship. I would not call it internship. I'm
Mhm.
planning to, Uh, Provide some technical classes online in future
Okay.
if I'm able to tie up with the right kind of institution or something, where it would be about deep technical know-how of
Mm.
cell manufacturing, pack manufacturing, challenges, upcoming updates, potential, those kind of things. Yeah.
So for that, you will be targeting which colleges?
Not really colleges. There's some, like there are special online people, who do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something. In fact, one of them have already approached me, just
Mm.
discussing about that here. But I want to reach the masses, that's the whole point. So
Okay.
be it any ways, any which ways, the whole point is to reach the masses and be able to help them and so right.
So are you doing
To give them guidance. Yeah. Yeah.
so are you doing any marketing strategy also to reach them to masses?
No.
No, no strategies. Okay, and my last question will be related to future expansion plans. Like, how was the market revenue last year for you, 2023, and what will be the plan for 2024?
I'll have to ask my CA for that. I don't check my bills.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about that much
The
because
growth percentage wise,
my
like,
CA handles all that.
mm-hmm.
I'm really not sure. Market has been good last year. This year also looks similar.
Okay.
The number of clients has been consistent, one going, one coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Growth maybe I think a few percentage, not much. Yeah. Should be
Not.
almost the same maybe. Yeah.
So,
Because
is there any, is
I
there,
only count by the number of clients. I
I,
don't look at revenue. My CA does all the GST invoicing and all, so I'll have to check with my CA.
okay. So, is there any plan to launch something new in this year, or you will go with the same?
Maybe the academic thing, like, to reach the masses, just looking,
Okay.
want to do something regular engagement with, online community. Yeah. Just
Online.
focusing on that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to say about cell manufacturing plants or upcoming person who wants
I
to?
think it's an exciting field. I think it is, it is a very challenging and exciting and innovating field.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who is, considering it, I think it's a great idea. Working. If somebody gets an opportunity to work in a cell factory or be part of a cell manufacturing organization, I think it's cool. I think you should not think of anything else. It's that cool. Yeah, I would say go for it. The learning experience and the things that you see is very, very extraordinary.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you so much.